Cool. So we are recording now. Welcome, bonjour. Yeah, take a seat. We haven't started yet. So here I'm gonna share my screen. We have just a really quick little PowerPoint for me to show you guys, and then we'll get started. We're gonna make it here. You'll take it home tonight. If we don't fill every seat, I'll let you guys make double. I don't care. Let's go to slideshow. Okay. Cool. Okay, I hope everyone can see me. If you guys have questions or if you can't hear me, let me know. Put it in the chat. Okay, so my name is Rachel Begland. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait. Oh, that one's already signed. Those are like, oh, words. There you go.
Get your 15 minutes of fame.
It's because if you appear in the Zoom recording, if you sign your name, then I get to use it. Okay, sorry, we just had a new woman come right in. We're so excited. I'll show the classroom in a second. So Esther Humphrey was the original teacher for this workshop. I already explained that. She has hit a lot of traffic coming back from the cities today with all that snow. We might see her. I will leave her contact information if we have any follow-up questions. But she told me that I was able to start facilitating this because this is partially an indigenous medicine, but also a folk medicine. It has a little bit of both. So wild leeks and wild garlic have been used as medicines by indigenous people for hundreds of years. But some of the ingredients are also new, like horseradish is actually, it grows here in the US, but it's an invasive species from Europe. So some ingredients are from here, some ingredients are not from here. As Geraldine was telling us earlier, though, there's some really interesting history with like burying medicines, and this can be buried, or you can just leave it in a pantry, depending on how you guys, how much you guys want to dig on the frozen ground. So this is our first workshop in Food is Medicine series that we have put together. There's another workshop next week on cedar and blueberry cough syrup. We're going to do one on teas in January. And even if you guys at the end of this are like, hey, I carry some knowledge, I am looking for more instructors. So we can do as many workshops as there are people who want to teach them. And I think this is really important because I feel like so much healthcare lately talks about don't eat this. Hey, food's bad for you. Fried bread is bad for you. This is bad for you. Don't eat oil, don't eat salt, don't eat sugar, don't. And I think that's really discouraging. I mean, I love food. I love eating all kinds of food. I eat meat, I eat cheese, I eat fried bread. And I think that the important thing really is to have a good relationship with food because food can be healing. Food is healthcare. So that's what this workshop series is all about. And today is going to be fire cider, as we've talked about. For those of you on Zoom, here we have all of the jars we're going to be using, and some of the ingredients are here on the table. We've got some ginger and some lemons. I'll put it on you guys for a little bit. Okay. So there are lots of health benefits to fire cider. Some of these are sort of more in like a traditional language, and some of these are more in like a contemporary medicine language. Both work, kind of depends on however you guys like to think about it. So something I've heard is that fire cider is good for warming the blood. And it helps you digest your food better. So it has horseradish, which is good for digestion, and it has ginger, which is good for digestion, but it's not a laxative. You're not going to drink it and go your pants. But it just aids in digestion. It's really good for the heart. It's really good for the blood and for the cardiovascular system, your circulation. So if you have cold fingertips all winter long, it's really good for that. What it's gonna do right away is it's for colds. It's gonna clear your sinuses. Like, woo, it's hot, it's spicy. So you're gonna feel that flush. So when you ever have a sinus infection, feel that pressure. Good for your immune system. It, like I said, it's hot, so it actually ups your temperature in the winter time. sometimes it's hard to get warm after you've been outside, and this is gonna help your body do that and just speed up all those processes. It treats the coughs, it treats the flu, and it can even lower your blood pressure. So it's super good medicine, and you can just make it from a run to the grocery store. Oh, we have Esther on here. Esther, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. This is me. I'm still driving and I just hit a deer.
Oh my goodness.
I know. There's something like going on saying, Esther.
Everyone says bring it home. Food is medicine. We were just going over the health benefits of fire cider. Do you have anything to add?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, everything that goes into it is good for us on its own. You know, like onions. Oh my God. Onions are a great blood cleaner. You know, they pull infection. God, they're so good for us. Garlic is just, oh my God, it's, you know, you get sick. I mean, if I get sick, the first thing I do is up my onion and up my garlic. If I feel anything going on, coming on, that's the first thing I do, you know, and everything else, the citrus, you know, the vitamin C, the chilies, the peppers or whatever you put in it for the heat, you know, that's so good for us too. You know, it's just everything that goes into fire cider is a medicine by itself. And you put that all together and it's just like, it just does everything for us. You really don't need any other medicine. That's why, you know, when you use it, you only take like a couple tablespoons a day. Whenever you want during the day, whatever you want, you know, you don't have to drink it all day long. In fact, I would say don't drink it all day long because, you know, you might get the poops. But you just, the way I usually drink it is I don't take shots of it like a lot of people do. I really enjoy it just as a tea, and I just add like a half a shot to a cup of hot water. And it's just really, it's a wonderful way to relax and warm up before bed. And you rest and, you know, it's just very relaxing and it's just really soothing. And the apple cider vinegar is really cleaning and cleansing for us, our gut health. Yeah, I swear by fire cider. I just love it.
Well, thank you, Esther, for that. And thank you for hopping on. We have to do a little bit of a dance here. I have to like mute one computer and lower the TV audio so that we don't get a terrible echo. But I do have actually two quick questions for you. The first one is, I've seen fire cider done a couple of different ways, and I was wondering if you actually put the whole lemon in, or if you prefer to just do the lemon juice. And I also was wondering about how you like to cut up the jalapenos, whether you take the seeds out or not, because I've seen it with the stems removed and the seeds removed, and I've seen it with everything. And I think those are good questions for us, because I think the rest, we're almost ready to get started.
Yeah, so the recipe that everybody has is just a basic recipe that, you know, Rosemary Gladstar put out when she first developed fire cider and, you know, started the whole fire cider movement or whatever. It's just a basic recipe. And as you know, if you continue to make it your own, you know, experiment with whatever you want to put in it. You know, you don't have to stick to what's on the recipe that you all got. You can add whatever you want. You can take what you want out. You know, a lot of people will add, you know, a little bit of chopped up peppercorn, you know, for some heat. Some people won't use citrus. Me, I like the citrus. I like the taste of the skins and everything. And so what I'll do is I'll make a little bit of zest of whatever citrus I'm using, whether it's lime or lemon or grapefruit or orange, you know, anything you want, you can put in there. Make a little zest of the skin and squeeze some of the juice out and dump the whole, what's left in it, you know? And for any kind of thing, I just thin and leave the seeds in it because the seeds carry a lot of the heat too. So I just chop it up and throw everything in there. And like I said, you know, make it your own, you know, just get creative, whatever you like, add it in.
Awesome. Oh gosh. Okay, well, thank you, Esther, for that. Does anyone else have anything they want to ask Esther before? I feel like Esther, from here on out, you're welcome to stay on. You just hit a deer. I don't know what situation you're in. We have all the supplies here, so stay on or hop off, whatever is like comfortable for you. And then I just want to open it up to our classroom.
Yeah, so
Chat if anyone has a question.
okay, so I'm just driving and I'm just gonna take the car home and take it back to the rental place in the morning. It's drivable and it's fine. You know, the deer's dead. It was hurt pretty bad. It's dead. Not salvageable. So I'm just gonna drive and yeah, I'll be on, and you know, it's just fire cider is just a matter of, you know, chopping everything up and filling your jars as much as you can, you know, as evenly as you can. You know, if you have 3 lemons, then, you know, divide them up amongst your quart jars and fill them up as much as you can. And then fill up what's left, you know, with the apple cider vinegar.
Awesome.
And then close it up and let it sit for as long as you want. Really, I mean, you're gonna come along every couple of days, you're gonna shake your jars, and if you want to like dip your finger in there to see if it's got a good heat or good flavor, you know, as it processes. If you want it hotter, I mean, you know, sometimes I've used it right away, you know, within 2 weeks, and sometimes I've let it sit for months. Like I think I have a jar that's probably been sitting in my cupboard probably for about 2 months, and it's just processing, and I'm still shaking it up every couple days, and I'm leaving it because I didn't use a very many jalapenos, and so I'm just waiting for it to get a little hotter. But again, totally up to you. Check it whenever you want. If it's a good flavor, good heat that you like, then, you know, you can finish it. You can strain it, or you can leave it longer if you want it hotter, you know. But like I said, it's just a matter of chopping everything up and dividing it amongst your jars for now. And then you're gonna put it in a dark spot and you're gonna let it sit for a while.
I have
Sounds
a question.
All right, then with the people here in the classroom, let's get started. I don't know if you guys would like to wash your hands. The kitchen is in there and right through that door. Geraldine can maybe show you guys where to wash your hands. We have gloves, they're optional. Okay, yeah, I recommend it, but you know, I'm pretty grimy myself. I'm a rugged lady. I like to just do things sometimes. And then the tables have been wiped down, but if you feel more comfortable, feel free to re-wipe them down with Clorox, and I'll start dividing up the goodies. Yeah, is that okay? So for those on Zoom, we're going to be using quart-sized jars. We're going to make as many as we can with the ingredients that we have tonight. So we'll see how much that is. But we're going to start with 4 quart-sized jars per person. Another ingredient that you have available, like Esther said, everything is kind of optional. It's how you want to make the fire cider and which medicines you enjoy, which medicines are accessible to you. But we've got some garlic, some cloves of garlic that we're going to use. I was supposed to get horseradish root, but I do have this horseradish from the store. It doesn't have any preservatives in it. It's just vinegar, salt, and horseradish root. We've got apple cider vinegar. That's gonna go on top of everything at the end. This is a really nice recipe because you don't have to cook anything. Yeah, please.
What are we mixing it all into a big pot?
Into a bowl or into your jars. So everyone's gonna take 4 jars. Everyone on Zoom, hang tight while we kind of get things distributed.
I'll just start putting jars. Wow, we each get 4 jars.
You're just gonna fill 2 jars.
Esther is saying something.
You're just gonna fill 2 jars right now. The other 2 are for when you strain them and you put your finished product in the 2 clean jars. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yes. So everyone, you're gonna fill 2 jars and then you're gonna have 2 jars to strain into. You're gonna get a cheesecloth today to take home. Everything, even the honey for later, which we'll talk about. Everything is included. You do not have to buy one thing. Thank you for the clarification, Esther. That was good. So.
When you have a chance, do you want to advance to the next slide so we can see the ingredients?
Oops. So some more ingredients. Everyone's getting an organic lemon. Oops, where's the camera at? An organic lemon. This is for that vitamin C we were talking about. And ginger as well. This is also organic ginger. You can even grow ginger in your house in a pot all winter long if you wanted to. So whatever.
Do you want to advance the PowerPoint slide?
And how much ginger? Did you say how much ginger?
You're gonna measure it out in a cup over there. So just start with a good chunk. Esther, were you saying something?
No, it was me over here. I was just wondering if you could advance the PowerPoint slide so we can see the list.
Yes, sorry.
Thanks. Yay.
Yes, thank you, Cherish. Doing this in person and on Zoom is an interesting balance. So Zoom people, please push me along, message me, call me out. Thank you very much. Here is the ingredient list from Esther, but like she said, you know, you can replace some of these ingredients, grapefruit or oranges or whatever you sort of have available, or if you don't like something, you know, that's okay too. And it's gonna all be to taste. If you can't handle the cayenne pepper, you know, go light on it, that's okay. Or if you really love spicy, dump it on, that kind of a thing. And then the supplies are pretty simple. You can reuse jars from home if you are like a canner or do anything with jars. These do not have to be sealed, like water bath sealed. So as long as you have a lid with a jar, you're good to go. It could be an old pickle jar, an old salsa jar, old pasta sauce jar, anything like that. So we're gonna get started. Oh, they forgot their jalapeno peppers. That's because I didn't tell them they had them. Jalapeno peppers too. You guys can all grab 2 or 3 jalapenos. I'll put them here. And there's also for the end, we've got peppercorns, which is just what like black pepper is before it's ground up. We have dried rosemary, which is a personal favorite of mine. This is actually dried rosemary from my garden. People get to decide which they prefer. Cayenne pepper. And turmeric powder. Okay, so once we're all sitting down, I'll make one too and put it on camera. All the ingredients are up here, so you guys feel free to come back. So the first thing that we're all doing is taking our jars, opening them up. And basically what we're gonna do is stuff our jar with all of these goodies. So I think that the first thing that we might wanna do that's maybe a little bit more involved is the onion or the garlic. Oh, do you need jars? Okay. We have a lot more paper in the back, so don't be shy.
How many of these are you?
I would take, you want 10 cloves, so 2 garlic will probably give you 10, but you can
Okay,
go
give
a
them
little
about
bit
that.
more. Yeah.
Kind of the same size, kind of. So they're kind of like, I don't know, close. I don't know.
No, that's perfect. And
Yeah,
garlic,
yeah.
this garlic was grown in the Gitaganake garden this year. So that's kind of cool. So we can start with the garlic. Would that be a good one to start with, everybody?
So we're gonna be chopping first before we have to worry about this.
Yes, the other stuff will come later. They are right over there. Okay. Thanks for everyone's patience on Zoom. We are getting situated. So the whole act of fire cider is that we're gonna fill this jar with goodies up to the top. And once it's full, we're gonna put the apple cider vinegar on top. Now, oh, Esther has a question. Esther?
Hey, yeah. So, all the way to the top, okay, you're gonna do it maybe just a little over half so that you.
Oops. Okay, so
Did you get all that?
no,
think
Esther,
I would-
we had you muted.
Oh, I
I
think
know, that was
I
bad.
unmuted.
Do you want to try again right quick?
Okay, yeah, so, you're not gonna fill up the whole jar to the top. You're just gonna do a little over half. Cause you want your apple cider vinegar, everything in your jar. Go to shake it, you want that, everything to really like move around, and get jumbled up in your apple cider vinegar. So don't fill the jar completely. If you're using the horseradish in a jar, probably about 2 teaspoons of that jar. And then, you can squish up or chop up if you want to be precise. You can slice up your garlic. Otherwise, I just kind of smush it up with the back of a spoon a little bit. And I got 4 chunks of a bulb in there in each jar. And the ginger, you're going to try to peel. I would say probably maybe like a 2-inch chunk of fresh ginger root, peel it up a little bit and then slice it up, dice it up if you want per jar.
Okay, sounds good. We're gonna start with the garlic. The garlic.
don't worry about the heat right now at this first time, that you're making it. Don't worry about if it's going to be too hot. Just add in the amount of the peppers and the heat that the recipe calls for, because when you get done and you strain it, if it's too hot, then just add a little bit more honey.
So she said, don't worry about making it too hot today. If it's too hot, we just add honey at the end. So the way that I cut garlic for everyone to see on the screen, let me stop sharing it for a minute. So the way that I always have learned to cut garlic is that you can see this little top part of the garlic where it was all attached. And what you do is you just slice that part off just a little tiny bit. And then you take the flat end of the knife here and you actually smush down the garlic. And that makes the skin really easy. It just peels right off. And then once the skin is peeled off and you have just the garlic clove, you kind of wipe off a little spot on your cutting board. And then if you were cooking something else, you could cut it in half. Or for fire cider, you can just smush it really good. That kind of releases some of the oils and lets the vinegar in like that. So you can have between 5 and 10 cloves if you guys want to get more garlic. There's more up here. We talked about garlic has actually some really cool properties. It's like antibacterial, antifungal. So it does some fun stuff as well. So yeah, you just do this. You just chop off that little head and then give it a smush. Get the skin right off, peels right off nice. This garlic looks like it's brown, but it's normal garlic. That's just the coloration of this. And then give it that nice smush. So this is my third one. I'm gonna do a couple more.
Do you want us like say to cut off that little end on every floor?
That's just my personal trick to get the skin off. It won't hurt you at all. And you're gonna end up straining out all of this stuff anyway. So I wouldn't worry about it, but that is just how I was taught to do it. And it's always worked, but everyone has their own way. 4 and 5. And then I hope everyone heard too, Esther was saying that we don't really have to fill the whole jar. I thought it had to be more full. I'm learning with you guys, so appreciate your patience. But it doesn't have to be all the way full. It looks like Esther's hand is up, but I don't know if that was from before.
I think it was from before.
Okay, cool.
Did you want us to cut it? Did you want us to dice it?
Nope, so you're just gonna take it, and I don't know if you can see on my screen, I just take the knife and I just, oops, I gotta watch. And I just flatten it.
Oh, you just flatten it, you don't cut it or nothing?
Nope,
Okay.
nope, nope, nope. You can if you want. It's yours. It is totally yours. It is your project.
Whatever makes it easy, as I say.
Yeah, so the fire cider is not gonna be ready tomorrow. It's gonna wait. This is something that we practice patience for. It will be ready in about a month. Esther was saying she has one that, she had ready in 2 weeks and one that she waited 2 months. Usually it's about 4 weeks. So that gives the garlic plenty of time to break down in there. So there's no need to chop it too fine. And there's a trash can there too. If you guys start getting kind of a pile of debris on your table, feel free to, toss stuff. So I've got my cloves of garlic now, just sitting at the bottom of my jar like so. How are you guys doing? Are we getting there? Okay, and you're just filling 2 jars. Just filling 2 jars, and then the rest of the jars are for you later to strain into. So that's why you're gonna get a total of 4 jars. If we finish and there's time before 7, I'm happy to let you guys make another one. But we'll try to keep it down to this for now. Okay, cool. So, I'm gonna just get this off. Oh, I have a little garlic right here.
So that there's each 5 in each one.
Yep. And then feel free at the end, we'll taste it and you go, oh, this needs way more garlic. Feel free to add. It kind of depends on how you want it to be. But let's start with this and just see how full we get. Okay. So the next thing that I think is gonna take up a decent amount of space is the chopped onion. So I'm gonna do the chopped onion next. I just did a medium onion chopped, so I'm gonna cut off this bottom side of it, where the roots were, where it was grounded and connected to the earth. And then I'm gonna cut this off. If anyone needs help, please just let me know. I know that some people cutting an onion is like second nature, and some people have never done it before. I have met all kinds of people. I had not cut very many onions until I got older and lived alone. So we're gonna peel the onion here. And there are more, so if you think that yours needs more, just holler. So we're getting her peeled up.
And you don't really need to chop the onion up. I mean, just like cutting it, you know, in quarters is good enough.
Okay. Esther has made our lives much easier, much like the garlic. She says you can even just cut it into quarters. It doesn't have to be all the way chopped up. I'm gonna get mine into a few good chunks here. So it doesn't really matter which way you cut it. I know there are fancy chefs out there who know what they're doing. I don't, but we just need these big old chunks. So I'm gonna do half my onion in this jar, half in the other jar. We'll see where that gets us. I think that was a little bit less than half, so I'm gonna do a little bit more here. And you can kind of make these pretty. This one's all layered up, garlic on the bottom here, and then the onion on top. So we haven't gotten to halfway yet, which is good. How are we doing out here, guys? Nice.
And you won't be able to taste it tonight to see what it's going to taste like. It's just going to taste like apple cider vinegar tonight. So,
True.
You won't be able to judge it.
Okay.
Probably for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I see that. That was my mistake. You're
So
right.
as long as you're like shaking it really good, you know, every day or two, maybe, I don't know, maybe next week you might be able to start, you know, just checking it out, see how it tastes.
Yeah. Do you ever add anything to it after like a week or so? Say, oh, it needs way more garlic?
Nope,
Nope. Okay.
never
Good
done
to
it. Never done that.
Somebody's question is, do you know if we can sell this in a farmer's market?
I suppose if you're certified to sell Minnesota produce stuff, you probably could.
Yeah, she thinks maybe so. It depends. There's some farmers market regulations, so it would depend on probably the acidity of it. But very possibly. It might make a really nice gift, you know, if people are thinking about the holidays. What can you give people that's not plastic, that's not expensive, that's not, you know, just gonna get thrown away and never used? I think this is a really special way to gift your elders, gift your neighbors, gift the people that you care about, children. So next, what I'm gonna put in mine is the ginger. So the ginger here, ginger can be bought at the store, but like I said, I actually grow it in a little pot by the window. Yeah, turmeric too, you can grow. You can't grow it in like a farm, but you can grow it in a pot. You can even use the seeds from the store if they're still viable. Just put them in a pot and see what happens. So yeah, the ginger, you want to get about 2 inches worth of ginger, Esther was saying. It's not a really exact measurement. And I'm gonna peel it off as best I can with my knife here. Just get some of that skin off. Again, we're gonna strain it at the end, so I don't think it has to be perfect, but sometimes it has like dirt on it or whatever. Because ginger is a root, it grows a green plant above the ground, and it's a root. So a lot of these things grow in the ground, onions, garlic, ginger. And I've heard a lot of people talk about how these things ground us, that in the fall, we eat the things from the ground to stay grounded, to stay connected to the earth.
So you're just taking out the brown peeling?
Yep. And I'm not being too careful. If a little bit stays on, I'm not too worried, but as much as I can.
Yeah, you just skin it a little bit because you're just gonna slice and dice it up, and then throw it in, and nothing's gonna look like what it looks like now. In the end, it's all gonna be yellow, like a greenish, yellowish color anyway. So there's not gonna be any color. It's not gonna be pretty, you know, I mean, everything you're putting in there is gonna be like the same color in the end.
So if everyone heard that, if anyone's ever made pickles before, basically all your colors are gonna get lost. That's normal. Your stuff is all gonna turn yellow, like the color of the apple cider vinegar. But it'll be pretty to start with. We'll take a picture of it. And so that everyone on Zoom can see the hard at work attendees, I'll throw them on the screen for a little bit while I peel the garlic, or excuse me, the ginger. Ginger is known to like, it helps with like digestion, like I said. It's known in Chinese medicine. It's known in Central and South America as medicine. So really pretty widely known.
So do we put an inch in each one or 2 inches in one?
I think 2 inches in each one.
And do we chop it, just leave it whole?
I would chop it a little bit. I don't think you have to chop it teeny tiny by any means, but the more you chop it, the more you give it like more surface area, and that lets it absorb more. But this is gonna sit for like a month, so it's definitely gonna absorb. So like with this piece of ginger here, I've peeled it. I'm gonna probably chop this into 4ths. So just 4 little chops there. I'm a big ginger fan too, so I'm going heavy on the ginger, but you can all feel free. Like ginger can be kind of expensive, so you could even make fire cider without ginger one day if you feel like saving a little bit of money. You can pick the ingredients that are more accessible. It's not like super expensive, but you know, there's ways to like make this fit your lifestyle, whatever that may be.
I noticed at Walmart, they start, like you could usually just get a chunk like this and then just break out how much you want it. But now I know that they're selling them in bags now.
Oh, they don't let you break it.
I don't think so. And it's like a little, like one of those, a couple of those chunks that we just took, like 2 of these would be like $3.
Yeah, I know at Harmony Foods Co-op, I think you can still break them off, or they sell them in teeny pieces. Or you could also try ground ginger. Fresh is always better, but they sell it as a spice, and that could last you longer too. But I just want to put it out there that there's other ways to do it. Like I said, I'm a big ginger fan. I find that it really helps my stomach. This and mint. A long time ago, I had the opportunity to live in Panama, and that was what my host mom always said. If I had a stomach ache, she said, "Let's go get you some mint tea."
Ginger ale all the time for belly aches.
Yes, ginger ale, same thing. So this is just going to the source. Okay, so I have my ginger cut up. How are we doing out there? Getting it peeled here, over here, Carolyn too. Okay, so we're all kind of on the ginger. I'm going faster than them because I'm only making 1 jar and they're making 2.
She's seasoned, she's probably did this a few times.
I am learning, actually. I made one that was very different. It was just my own invention. It was white vinegar, peppers, and garlic. And I didn't even strain it. I still have it in my kitchen. I still take shots of it. I love it.
Oh, yeah?
But I am imagining that apple cider vinegar is probably a lot better for you because it supports your gut a lot more. And white vinegar probably doesn't. But it looks like we have a question in the chat too. Oh, what's my secret to growing ginger in the house? In all fairness, I am growing turmeric in my house right now, not ginger, but they're sisters, they're cousins. My trick is that I don't put it too close to the window because I find that the leaves really get cold. So they have to be in a spot in your house with sunlight, but not too close to the actual window. Otherwise the leaves freeze off. That's my secret, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going all that well, but I did make turmeric tea from my turmeric that I grew in Minnesota one time.
Woohoo! Great job.
Thanks. I fully support you giving it a try. Like I said, the actual, this is the actual seed of the ginger. So you could break off little parts of it and plant it. If you leave it in like a closet or something, you might even find that it grows little green roots, and then you can plant it with those green roots facing up. Those are the leaves. Or you could probably soak it in water, like a little bit of water, and see if it grows some roots first before planting it. But that is my advice. So next, and again, oh, here, let's trade. There you go. So again, the order is kind of irrelevant. You get to do this in any order that you want, but I just feel like doing the jalapeno peppers second. Other hot peppers will work. I've seen people do it with chili peppers. I've seen people do it with, oh, I forgot what the other one was. Any hot pepper will work, is the point, whatever you can find. I'm gonna cut off the stems, but I'm gonna leave the seeds in. Like Esther was saying, the seeds carry a lot of heat. So here I just took the stem off. Here's the stem. Gonna discard that. I'm making quite a little mess here. And then I'm just gonna take my knife and go cut down the jalapeno the long way. So I have it like this. And I'm gonna put it in just like that. Just cut the long way like this. All the seeds still in, but no stem. So the stem could, like, I don't know. I just don't want it. I kind of feel like the stem is dirtier than the rest of it, but I don't know if that's even true. Ooh. So there we go. Bigger jalapenos cut into more pieces. Oops, I just put it in the garlic, not into my jar. So this is starting to look kind of pretty, almost like a decoration. Okay. So we're gonna wait. I think some people are still peeling their ginger, but the next ingredient, eventually, whenever we get there, it's not a good view, is the lemon. So you can zest the lemon like Esther was saying, and actually like grate the skin. I think we have a grater here, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I never actually used a grater. I just kind of used a fork or a knife and just kind of scrape some of the skin into each jar.
Okay.
Because I don't think I even own a grater. I just do it however works for me the easiest.
Yeah, we happen to have one in our commercial kitchen, but I will give that a go. So the skin, you can just peel off, I guess, with your knife, kind of like that. And you just get a little peel, put some peels in there. This is how you make marmalade. If anyone's ever done that before, you boil the skins. It's super yummy.
Do you have lemons and oranges, Rachel, or just the lemons?
Just lemons tonight.
So I would put like a whole lemon in each jar.
Okay. You
Just
guys
cut
hear that?
them
A whole lemon is gonna go in each jar, so I can
Just
pass
cut
out.
cut them in quarters and squeeze the juice out and then throw everything in there.
Well, I actually do think we're gonna cut it up a little bit. Let me ask.
No, I mean, we don't, do we cut that first before we cut it, or just slice it up?
I think you do want to cut the peelings off a little bit. I think that it frees them up to have a different flavor than the rest. But I wouldn't, like, you don't have to peel it perfect. I would just get some of the skin off. So Esther wants us to do the whole lemon, which I think is cool. I'm gonna cut off this little stem here. I don't know if I really want those in there. And then I'm just gonna put it in some chunks. Again, don't worry about the seeds because that all gets strained out. I think the only real benefit of cutting it smaller is that it fits in the jar a little better. But you could leave it in larger chunks than I'm doing. So here's my jar so far. Nothing too crazy. The lemon's in there
So
now.
make sure that
Go ahead.
make sure that they're squeezing the juice out of the lemons before they put it in the jar.
Oh, I'm learning with you guys. So I'm gonna dig my dirty little fingers back into the jar and squeeze out the juice. Esther, I so appreciate you being here and correcting me and making this work. It's really cool. I'm glad we have some advice from someone who's an expert.
Ask her what she thinks about that, apple cider with the mother that people are craving about. What does she think about that?
Wait, one more time? The mother?
Yeah, ask her what she thinks about apple cider
Uh-huh.
that has the mother in it. Because a lot of people are really touting that as a weight loss kind of thing, or helps with digestion.
Oh.
Which makes sense because of apple cider.
Yeah,
What does she think about that?
we have a question here, and that's about what you think about how people are saying that apple cider is the mother.
No,
No?
apple cider that has the mother.
Oh, I got it. Okay, apple cider that has the mother in it is really good for you, good for weight loss, good for digestion. If you think there's any truth to that.
Well, it's good for your gut. Yeah, I mean, that's the base of when we were making kombucha, you know, is that mother. And you should, I hope that's the kind of, maybe I didn't specify, but I hope that's the kind of apple cider vinegar that everybody's using. Because yeah, it's the best apple cider vinegar for you. It's just really a good probiotic and just so good for our gut and our insides.
Yeah, I think the one that we have is just organic. I don't think we have raw apple cider vinegar. So this should be still good for your gut, but in the future, we can recommend that people pick up that kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I make kombucha actually at home.
And I don't suggest making fire cider out of kombucha. I experimented with it just for the heck of it, and it was not good.
I could see that. I was just gonna mention that I was able to make it and kind of get to know that mother that she's talking about. It's like this, it's called a SCOBY, and that stands for symbiotic something of yeast and bacteria. And
Culture of bacterial yeast. Yeah.
it's like a disc that floats in the drink, and it looks kind of gross and it tastes kind of funny. You can strain it out right before you drink it. They sell kombucha now all over the place, and you actually are literally drinking a small colony of bacteria. I mean, that's what yogurt is too. It's a live culture, and they say that it helps your gut. I don't know how much that's true or not. I can't verify, but I drink kombucha a little bit every day. I don't love how it tastes, so I drink it more for medicine. And it's really cheap to make once you get a SCOBY. I posted on Facebook. If anyone has a SCOBY in Bemidji, went to this lady's mailbox, picked one up, and I started making kombucha. You can also order them on the internet, and they dehydrate them, and then you rehydrate them, but I've never done that. I don't know how much it costs. Ooh, the horseradish smells strong. Esther, how much horseradish do you think we should add again per jar?
Yeah, I would say about 2 teaspoons per jar.
Okay.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to make kombucha, I do have a hotel. I make kombucha pretty often, and I use the berries and everything that I harvest myself. So, yeah, it's just I got some going all the time.
Super cool. So did you guys
Like
hear
I said,
that?
I
If you
have
ever
a
want to do kombucha?
hotel.
Nice. Yeah, we will hit
I've
you.
got about seven scobies right now in my hotel.
Cool. She's got 7 of those discs that are the scobies. I'm just repeating what you say because that you're coming out of my computer audio, so it's just a little quiet. That's why I'm repeating what you're saying. Okay,
Oh, okay.
so on to the next ingredient quick, so we can keep going while we talk. I'll pass this around to all of y'all. So this is horseradish, pure horseradish. I know that it's better to get horseradish root, but I could not find any here in town. That's okay. I think this is still gonna work. So I was reading the ingredients of some of the different horseradishes, and this one had the least number of ingredients, and it is just, I don't know if you can read it, not really, but it's just salt and distilled vinegar and horseradish root. So I'm not too afraid of it. You don't want to do one with a lot of preservatives or, you know, something you can't pronounce on the ingredient list. So this is a teaspoon. You can also estimate with just a spoon at home, but I'm going to do 2 kind of heaping teaspoons. And then I'll pass this around and everyone can add 2 to each jar. There are plenty more jars if need be. And Chelsea has a question about, she is making it right now at home too, and she does have an orange. So how much of that should she add with her lemon? Half orange, half lemon, question mark?
If you want to, yeah. Otherwise, I mean, like I said, you know, if you have a big enough jar, fill it up. If you want to, when you get everything in there, you're gonna just kind of grab something like a spoon or something and smush it all down nice and compact.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that now. Actually, I'm gonna take my jar and just smush down all these ingredients so that there's a little more space, but I'm getting to the end here for mine.
Yeah, you should be about ready just to add like your rosemary and whatever else you want to add in there.
Yeah, so this is like, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say too, so in the dollar aisle at a lot of grocery stores, there's these little jars of pickled garlic. They come in a really nice little glass jar. I mean, I dry a lot of herbs and stuff, and I use them for like seeds and whatever, but that's really good. I mean, chopping those up and putting like, I will put like a whole jar, because it's just a small jar. I'll put just one whole jar into a batch of fire cider. And like I said, it's a pickled garlic and it tastes really good.
Cool. So if you guys heard that, pickled garlic is another alternative to just the garlic, and she loves it so much that she'll put in a full jar of they're little jars of pickled garlic. So it's garlic in like a brine, and she'll just throw that in there in lieu of the garlic. So yeah. So
it's in the dollar aisle.
Yeah, and she said it's in the dollar aisle usually. So that's kind of cool. So I'm gonna throw in some rosemary here. I'm a big rosemary fan, so I'm gonna go a little heavy. This here is rosemary from my personal garden at home that I brought in, but also there's store-bought rosemary if that makes you guys more comfortable. I don't care. There you go. Thank you. It's like about these grapes are. Yeah, I think on the ingredients it says 2 tablespoons. So just guess. I have tablespoons if you'd rather actually do it. I have a tablespoon here. Oh, perfect. Yep. Then 2 tablespoons of the, yes, in each one. And then I think it's a little bit of cayenne and a decent amount of the turmeric. So that's the turmeric, the light orange. And this here is the cayenne. Yeah, 1/4 of a teaspoon of the cayenne. Just a teeny bit, and a full tablespoon of the turmeric. Whoops. So here we have our cayenne pepper. You can buy it in a bag. You can buy it in a glass thing.
71.
And I am just doing 1/4 of a teaspoon. It's a really small amount. So I'll pass this. We'll go this way. Carolyn. We have like a long time, guys. It's only 6. We have all the way till 7 or even a little bit more. So don't be scared if we're going at a nice, good pace. I know I made a whole mess up here too, I promise. And then I'm gonna add the turmeric, and then I'll show you guys what to do after that. It's gonna be our last main ingredient until we cover it in the apple cider vinegar. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about how to consume your fire cider. There are different ways to do it. You can do it however you want. So there's the sort of popular way that Esther was talking about, which is people like take a little shot glass or put a little dash in a cup and take it like a shot. Just to clear your sinuses down the hatch, very spicy. You can also mix it in with olive oil if you guys like salad dressing. You can also add it, I've seen people add it to soup and give it like a little hot, I don't know, a little kick to it. And you can also mix it with lemonade. You can mix it with seltzer. Esther was saying she actually will heat it up in hot water and add her honey and drink it like a hot tea. So many ways to do it. And then when you are done, which I think you just might be, you're close, that's Rosemary. Oh, she has the cayenne pepper, I want to steal it. And we're gonna use the apple cider vinegar here. I think most of it's organic, but they did run out at the store, so some of it's not. We did our best. So apple cider vinegar. This is the organic one. I got a bunch of gallons of it, maybe too much, but we always use it in pickling recipes. So it's something that I never mind having too much of. And I still have to add my turmeric. I haven't gotten there yet, but that's okay. I'm gonna take my fire cider. Here, I'll move the camera. And I'm gonna actually fill it, not all the way to the top, but pretty much. I'm just gonna cover everything. The more liquid you add, the more you're gonna be able to squeeze out of it later. Are you ready for it? Yeah. Here you are. So exciting. And I'm gonna still scissors. Is that okay? And you're cutting that ginger real small. You could probably go a little bigger if you want. Or you can keep at it. Do you want the big knife again? Okay. So, there's something really important that has to happen to make sure that your fire cider is safe. And that is that we're gonna take a piece of parchment paper like this. I just cut off a piece from a larger sheet. You could use something else too if we got creative, but the aluminum in the lid will react with the vinegar and you will leach aluminum into it if you don't put something in between. So we're gonna cover the jar and then we go down. The honey is actually gonna be take home. Yeah, so the honey comes at the very, very end when you're going to drink it. So I bought it so that you guys would have it and wouldn't have any costs. But yeah, so there is my fire cider. I didn't add the turmeric powder because it's been moving around the room, so I'll add it in a little bit. But just for the demonstration, you're actually gonna wanna shake it. And it looks actually very beautiful, I think. Kind of aesthetically pleasing, kind of like a kitchen decoration almost. I would have it as a kitchen decoration. And then you leave it in a cool, dark place for 4 weeks, for a long time. Esther was saying that she's done drank it as early as 2 weeks. It's kind of up to you. How desperate are you for some fire cider? But I would leave it for 4 weeks if you can. And then you're not gonna need to seal the lid or anything, so it'll make that popping sound. And then you strain it. So we have some cheesecloth here. You would strain it just to get the liquid out into a clean jar, and then it's good to drink. You can add honey. I have honey here. You want it to be raw if possible. So we got some like nice local honey, and you want that because it has more of the bee's medicine than does other stuff. Hang on one second. Do you want any peppercorns in yours? It's not on the recipe, but you can add some. They're pretty potent, so even 5 to 10 each, and then pass that around the room. And again, there's no ingredient that is a must really, except for the apple cider vinegar. Everything else is flexible, you know? You guys mind if I take a couple pictures while we're at work? Is that okay? Okay. Okay, so- I guess it's yeah, all you have to do for those is cut off the stems and then cut them the long way and just stick them in whole. They don't have to be cut up tiny because the liquid is gonna just really drain out all the stuff. Yeah, I think I will too, actually. So I'm gonna open mine up. Thank you, Marsha, for being helpful. So those were some peppercorns. You can see on the top.
When did you say again that the strainer?
4 weeks, 1 month from today.
Okay.
If, like I said, you're like, oh man, I have a really bad cold and it's been 3 weeks, you can open it. You can, and it will still be good. But if you can wait 4 weeks, wait. Or if you're like, oh, this is a good Christmas present, that's okay. Strain it, give it away. That's okay too. And then you'll have those 2 glass jars that you'll keep clean and you'll strain it into. So let me get the cheesecloth. Now, cheesecloth is definitely nice and I like to use it. But if you guys have ever strained anything, you know that cheesecloth. This is our cheesecloth. It's fancy. These are like $4 each. You can use a t-shirt, a clean t-shirt. You can use anything you have. You could even probably use a regular strainer that you might use for spaghetti. You know, you might get a chunk or 2 that goes through, but we left everything as a pretty big size. So you each get to take home a cheesecloth, but just know that, you know, it's okay. If you get home, you'll get a few uses out of these, but then they'll go, you know, they'll be kind of done. So just well, let's see. We have garlic, onion, horseradish, jalapeno. Yeah. Did you get the cayenne pepper? The dark orange pepper?
That's in between the, here.
Oh, perfect.
And then those spoons are on the cutting.
Yeah. Okay. It's gonna be just
Put some in each lunch for like about 10 of each one, right? Oh, that's what I forgot.
Then here's a 1/4 teaspoon. Am I good to put it in?
So these are ready to get some parchment paper in between.
Yeah. Here, we'll turn the camera so that people can see what we're up to.
Can you hear me?
Okay. And then
Jill, can you hear me?
peppercorns in. I think you have everything. I think we're ready. So. Got it. So we're gonna. Just pour it right in. Oh, you know what you don't have? Rosemary.
Oh,
Yeah. You have a little spoon.
Yeah.
Is that one here? Here you go. Oh, actually 2 weeks.
Hello?
Did we say something?
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So I wouldn't use, I've never used parchment paper or anything like that on the lid. I always just cut a little square of the cheesecloth out and use it, because then that's the strainer right there. You just take your rim, your lid off and add your ring back on over the cheesecloth, and that's your strainer right there. That's your strainer. I've never used parchment paper or anything like that. I have used a coffee filter at one time. Yeah, so that's your strainer. You just tip your jar over into a bowl or your other jar, and all the liquid will go through. If you want to take everything out in a bigger chunk of your cheesecloth and squeeze all the liquid out, you sure could. And then I think you said something about adding fire cider to soup. I've never heard that, because that would, you have to add a lot of fire cider, or it would really. I think I got disconnected.
Just for a minute, you were saying don't use it in soup.
Yeah, I've never heard of using the actual fire cider in the soup. What I have done is I saved all my ingredients after I squeeze them out, and like I'll divide it into maybe 2 containers and just freeze them. And then when I am making soup or bean and ham soup, it tastes really good if you just throw everything in there.
Ooh. So some really good ideas coming from Esther. One is that she thinks, I think you guys could probably do it either way. She is suggesting that you actually cut your cheesecloth now and put it over the lid, and then you have your strainer. This cheesecloth seems a little thin to me, and so I'm gonna do the parchment paper on mine still, just because I really don't want to have contact with the top when I shake it. Did you cut them, or we gotta cut it ourselves? You guys have to cut it yourselves. I'm sorry, I haven't cut it yet.
So do you just use 1 sheet or 2 sheets?
You just cut a little corner, that's all. Just a little corner.
Little corner.
Yeah, did you get like the real gauzy stuff, or did you get like the linen towel type one?
Yeah, this is the gauzy stuff. That's why I'm like, ooh, I think you have a better idea than we do, but I can even show you.
Yeah, so they could just cut a little corner and then, take the rest of the cloth with them. I'm always thinking about, sending as much as I can home with people.
Oh yeah.
So taking what's left home and using it for future batches or a strainer, and, rinsing it out when you're done and hanging it and using it again for fire cider.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll take that home, and then when you're ready to use it, you just put it back, strain it. For later on.
It's just, you're gonna maybe put that over a bowl or over the new jar, and then you just pour it in, and it's gonna catch all the chunky stuff, and the water will come through. And that's the part you drink.
Oh, okay. So we just need to use 1 layer, that we don't need to double.
Yeah, you can, if you feel more comfortable, double it, but I only use 1.
Good, then I'll have some more if I need that.
Yeah, you guys can all take home some parchment paper. We have a ton more. You got your cheesecloth, and Esther was saying that with that cheesecloth, you're gonna be able to use it again. You just rinse it and hang it up to dry. So then this one is all done, except I never got turmeric. Let me add the turmeric.
And so the 2 extra jars that everybody's getting, are you able to fill them up like with halfway with apple cider vinegar when they take them home?
Oh, with the extra jars?
yeah, the 2 extra jars that everybody has, can you send like half a jar of apple cider vinegar home in each of the jars with them?
Oh, yeah.
Because then, yeah, they're not going to end up with like a whole jar of fire cider from this batch, you know. So then
Right.
they add a little bit of the extra apple cider vinegar and then the honey to taste, the honey
Okay.
to however they want it, and
Very
then
cool.
it's done.
Okay. I'll repeat that to them here in a little bit, in just a second. We're getting there. So what is the final process? We've said it a couple times, but while I have all of your guys' attention and on Zoom here too. So you take your jar, it's full of apple cider vinegar, you've lidded it. Now what? So we were just kind of talking about this. You have your jar and it's not done yet. It's gonna wait 4 weeks for it to fully absorb all of the constituents inside. So every day or every other day, you're gonna wanna shake your jar. So it's like a pet, it's like a kid, needs some attention. Make sure you shake your jar. If it's not every day, it's okay for every other day, that's fine. And then what you're gonna do is after those 4 weeks, so today is December 10th. So a good way for me to always remember is just do January 10th. You can put it on your calendar. If you want to give it away for Christmas, strain it early. I won't tell. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take the cheesecloth. You're going to open it up. Everyone's taking one home today. But like I said before, if you don't have a cheesecloth, a rag is okay. A clean t-shirt is okay. You're going to take an empty jar like this. And you're gonna open it up and you're gonna put the cheesecloth over it. And then you're gonna pour very carefully the liquid from this jar into this jar and make sure that all of the chunky stuff doesn't go in to the liquid. So you're just straining out the liquid. Esther had the really good point that she will actually use the leftover ingredients, which are still good, throw them into a soup. And then that liquid, that golden liquid that you have, you put that apart, and that is really your fire cider. So that's what you're gonna take as medicine. And Esther is saying that, you know, from a jar like this, you might only get 1/3 of a jar of actual cider, you know, once you strain it. And when you strain it, you definitely wanna push down on those veggies, make sure you squeeze all the juice out of them. But what she suggested, which I think is a great idea, is we will fill your other jars with apple cider vinegar, not just apple cider. I wish. We'll fill it with apple cider vinegar so you guys can take some more home and mix it together. You can kind of add just the apple cider vinegar to your fire cider after you've made it. And then you have a little bit more. You can make it go a little further. Okay. So that's the overview. That's fire cider. Oh, no, it's not. One last thing is the honey. That's after you've strained it, you're gonna add the honey. So I have some jars here from home that I saved and went through the dishwasher. I think we have more jars in there, and we'll divide up the honey and you guys can take some home. I think it would also be, and I don't know, Esther, if you think I'm crazy, I thought about maple syrup as an alternative to honey, because some people have maple syrup and don't have honey. And that I think would probably be just as good and kind of do the same job.
I was just gonna say, don't try to use maple syrup. It doesn't work.
Why? Oh my gosh, now I'm so embarrassed.
I was just trying to type it when you said it. I was gonna say, don't use maple syrup. But yeah, don't use maple syrup because it just doesn't mix with the apple cider.
Okay, so she's just saying they don't mix as good, which makes perfect sense, but it was an idea. I tried. So
You might be able to probably, I don't know, you know, there's people like my mom. My mom ferments maple syrup and makes vinegar.
Oh. We lost her again.
So I was saying my mom makes maple syrup vinegar. She'll ferment it and make vinegar out of it. So that might be something somebody wants to try, and then adding that to fire cider and see how that tastes.
Very cool idea, fermenting maple syrup into vinegar and then adding it. Little complicated,
No,
little bit of work.
I won't waste my maple syrup.
Very fair point. Let me go get the other little jars. Oh, you guys all get to take home some honey. And then I think for those on Zoom, here are the jars for the honey. Here's two. And then here's a clean jar from home. I just couldn't get all the paper off. They're all good.
Cute little jars.
Okay. So 4 weeks, strain it, add some honey and enjoy. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Cherish, for being on here. We're going to upload this recording. This was from Four Directions Development here in Red Lake. And I think it was pretty awesome. And people get to go home with some yummy fire cider. And I don't know if there are any last questions before we log off on the Zoom. Any final thoughts from anyone in the room or anyone on Zoom?
Here's a jar for honey.
Okay. In that case, miigwech. Oh yes, miigwech, Cherish.
So if anybody who's there wants to have some fire cider before theirs is done, I always have some on hand. My cousin from up in Red Lake drinks a whole bunch of lemonade so that she can give me her glass jars, and I fill them up with fire cider and just give them out to whoever, anybody. The elderberry syrup and everything is just give it away to people who need it.
Super cool. Is there a good way for people to contact you, Esther?
Is my email? Did I send you
Your
my
email? I could pass it out if you feel comfortable with that.
You could give my email to the people who are there.
Yeah.
And if they want to get a hold of me for some, I'm certainly willing to share what I have on hand with them. I'm not going to send it anywhere or mail it anywhere, but the people who are there, you know.
Yeah, I will just give it to the people who are here. Can I put it in the chat?
Sure.
Okay. And for those who don't know, Esther is amazing and works at the Leech Lake Tribal College. So there's her email in the chat. I'll leave it with you guys in a minute here. If anyone wants to fill up their empty jars with extra apple cider vinegar, they totally can. I don't know if you want to. And we're gonna log off here, I think. So thank you guys so much, miigwech, and I hope to see some of you back next week. We're doing Cider Blueberry Cough Syrup with Linda Blackout. So that should be cool.
See ya. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.